All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is who knows what a solution is? Anybody want to volunteer if you know what a solution is? Okay. No volunteers, that's fine. A solution is, oh, Ethan? Kristen, pretty good. But we're talking about chemistry solutions. No, it's okay. I mean, that is a solution. A solution is how you solve a problem. But again, chemistry is a little bit different. No, it's not the amount of ingredients, Blake. Let's give Ethan a chance to finish typing. I need more coffee. No, not something on the periodic table. If I take a liquid, actually, let's just think about this. Yes, Olivia, it is a type of liquid or a mixture. Let's say, I've used this reference before. I get a glass of milk and I stir in some chocolate milk mix. And I stir it in, mix it all up. That is a solution. I've taken a liquid and I've taken sometimes a solid, sometimes it can be another solution, and I mix them together, or another liquid, and I mix them together and I have a new substance. Typically, it's a mixture. It's something that's not chemically combined. There are two different parts to a solution. So in a solution, you have what is called the solute, S-O-L-U-T. This is typically, let's say, the powder. This is something that we want to be dissolved. And then we have something called the solvent, S-O-L-V-N-T. So you put a solute into a solvent, it dissolves, and it makes a solution. Now there is something that we have that we call the universal solvent. Now without Googling it or looking it up on the internet, does anybody have an idea what the universal solvent might be? Noah, did you raise your hand? No, it's like, no, not me. Catherine, do you want to take a shot of the dart? It's something that's very common. It's a liquid.
Is it water?
It is. It's water. Very good, ma'am. I knew you knew it. So the universal solvent is water, H2O. So what we're going to do today is we are going to look. Kristen, it's called the universal solvent. Universal solvent. And basically what it means is that water can break down just about anything. It can dissolve almost anything. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at our main ingredients of our bath bombs. We're going to look at Epsom salt, we're going to look at citric acid, baking soda, cornstarch, salt, olive oil, lemonade, and coconut oil. And we're going to see what happens when we put them in water. Because remember, Hayden, what happened when we put our bath bomb in water? What did it do?
It dissolved.
It dissolved. True. Yes, it did. It definitely dissolved. David, did it do anything else besides just dissolve? You hear, David? Okay. Kristen, it did dissolve. It took a couple minutes. Now there's one that kind of didn't dissolve, and we'll talk about that later. Give David another second here to finish typing. Man, why is my new camera not? My new camera is only working on one of these. That's okay. David, are you still typing? And David left the building. Okay. Hello, Kirsten.
Oh yeah.
Kirsten, besides dissolving, what did our store-bought bath bomb do? And actually, most of the bath bombs did this just a little bit.
It fizzed.
It fizzed. And that is what we call a production of gas. So what we're going to do is we want to observe what happens to these different chemicals. And we're in the long run, we're trying to find out what makes the items dissolve. Or, we want to see which ones dissolved, which ones maybe make it fizz. We might not get that far today, but we're going to start investigating all the individual ingredients. Ethan, I see you laughing too. Okay. River, nobody can see you. You have your camera off. But there's nothing wrong with laughing. Okay, so the one that we're going to try first, and I want you to write these down. It's important that you write down the observations that you see. We are going to be using Epsom salts. Okay, so this is going to be the first one that we're going to do. I'm going to pin myself to the screen so in the video, if anybody wants to come back and look at it, it's a little bit bigger. All right, so Epsom salts, EPSOM, salt, and this is magnesium sulfate. Now, Epsom salts, when I look at them, and for those of you who have your own stuff at home, go ahead and you can do some of these, and I'll put you on video every once in a while so you can also be showing. Epsom salt is kind of like coarse salt or coarse sugar. It's very granule. Looks like crystals. Oops. Helps if I show it to the right camera. So what I'm going to do is I have, about 150 milliliters of water. And that really doesn't matter how much water I have, but I have 150. I'm going to pour some of the salt in. I'm going to stir it. Stir it for a couple seconds.
It looks like Sprite.
Well, now probably about half the crystals dissolved. The water is now a little bit cloudy. It's kind of hard to see it on the camera, but there's little, you can, if you look, there's little particles floating in the water. So if I were to stir it more or put some more water in it, I'm pretty sure I can get all the crystals to dissolve. Yeah, I stirred a little bit more went away. It's a little pile in the center. I think I put too much in. So what are some of the words that we can use for what happened to this? Catherine, that's okay. You guys, I don't always expect you to have your cameras on, but if your camera's not on, I definitely need you to respond when I talk to you. This lets me know that you're here.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I understand this. Okay, so I can't see the class right now, so I'm going to need you to do this in chat. Tell me some of the words you might use to describe what happened to this liquid.
The color of it got thicker.
Okay, like I said, put it in the chat though. So remember, I had a crystal in there. So I guess I said the liquid, but the crystals, it dissolved. The water got foggy. Kristen, did it evaporate? Evaporate means that the liquid disappeared. So it's not that it evaporated, but it did dissolve. The crystals dissolved. Blake, what was the word you used?
It looked like the water got more denser than the color it already was.
Okay. Now, the word that you used, dense, it did,
Like
but we
more,
actually...
more of a solid color than just being able to see straight through.
Okay. Yeah, it has particles floating in it. So those are all very good observations. Write some of those down. These are all some observations that we want to keep. Now, I'm going to go to citric acid next. Citric, C-I-T-R-I-C, acid, A-C-I-D. Now, citric acid comes from things like oranges, lemons, limes, pineapples, tangerines. Anything that has a kind of a tart taste to it, any kind of fruit that has a tart taste. It's actually a very primary ingredient into sour candy. Also, hopefully you don't, but if you're a person that drinks a lot of soda, when you drink a soda and you feel that kind of tangy feeling in the back of your throat, that is the citric acid that they put in sodas. It gives you that kind of tang in the back of your throat. So citric acid, to me, looks like sugar. Smells a little fruity. Doesn't really, I guess it does smell kind of lemon limey like. But it's fine granules. If I see it on my fingers, it's kind of almost like sugar. And we're going to
Is this material edible, like raw?
everything here is edible. And that's the thing that's kind of interesting. Even Epsom salts. Now, Epsom salts are commonly used for your feet, for aching muscles. But if you were to eat Epsom salts, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to have to go to the bathroom. It's a laxative, meaning it helps you if you are having problems going number two. It will help clean you out. Addison, yeah, I guess you're right. It does smell like a little bit like brown sugar. That's a very good observation, ma'am.
I want to know what brown sugar smells like because I've never been around brown sugar that much. Other than oatmeal.
Well, there you go. If you use brown sugar, maple, I think those are the two most common combinations of oatmeal. It is the more prevalent smell is the brown sugar. Addison, would you like to?
I don't know what oatmeal is, River.
Oatmeal is a type of cereal.
Yes, you microwave it.
Addison, would you like to do for the class citric acid and water?
Sure. How much water do I need?
Just give yourself what we'd call a couple fingers of water. You can see in my glass how much I have. Maybe about a quarter cup if you're using a cup. Let's see here. I'm going to pin her to the screen. I thought I pinned her to the screen. Hold on a second. All right. Can everybody see Edison?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you already put it in? Nope, just put it in right now.
Whoa, that looks like when you put sugar in water and you just shake it up a lot.
Yep. And
Wow.
so did it all dissolve, Addison?
Not yet. There's still some on the bottom.
Okay, stir a little bit more. It looks like quite a bit more of it dissolved. Okay, so again, in chat, go ahead and give me a few descriptions of what you're seeing. Foggy. Really foggy. A coating on something on top of the water. That might just be the reflection of the water. I see sugar like mats. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Now, Ethan, this one was not salt.
What I mean by that is like I see some of the materials that you'd use to make sugar in there.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
All right. Thank you for the clarification. Ethan, this wasn't salt. This was citric acid on this one. Yeah, what happens, Amaya, is it gets foggy and then it starts to clear. It starts to settle down. The particles kind of disperse a little bit more. So very good. All right. Let's see. The next one. Let's go
I've
ahead.
done an experiment like this, but with coffee grounds for whatever reason.
Okay. Now, coffee grounds won't dissolve. Coffee grounds stay whole, but
I know, but
you'll,
it's just a really fun experiment.
yeah, you do what's called leaching out the coffee out of coffee grounds, and that gives you, where's my coffee? Oh, that scared me. And that gives you wonderful coffee goodness. It's a must for everybody to survive.
No, it's not.
When you get old, it is.
I think it's just to wake you up faster, if anything.
Actually, caffeine does not keep me awake. I don't know why, it just doesn't. Okay, does anybody else besides Addison have lemonade?
I think I do.
Do you want to do the dissolving on lemonade, Blake?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do this one. Addison, get ready to do cornstarch. Okay.
Bleh.
Okay, so once again, I got my agua, my water. Let's see here. Why in the world is this not letting me go full screen? Oh, I know why. I sometimes truly believe I am a technology challenged person. Okay, so I got my water. I'm going to get a teaspoon of, in this case, it's Country Time lemonade. Any lemonade pretty much works. The lemonade is, again, it's a powder, kind of like sugar again. It's kind of yellow in color. Smells very lemony, which I guess is a good thing for lemonade. Pour it in my water. This one pretty much completely dissolved. It is a yellowish color to it, which is kind of hard to see on the screen. What I would like you to do now is, like in all the other ones, give me some descriptions, some things that you see in this. Yellow but foggy, good am I? The color changed. Awesome. So yeah, water turned yellow, not clear. Ah, thank you, Kirsten. Fully dissolved. This is a big word that we need to know. What is dissolving? Dissolving is when it breaks down into the smallest of pieces and you basically don't see it anymore. It becomes a solution. Now, I have not washed these glasses out in a dishwasher, so I would not drink it. But this is this is lemonade. I actually tried this as you were talking, and oh, I'm sorry, Catherine. I did not realize you had some. How much water did you have, Catherine, versus how much powder you put in? I guess there's a teeny little bit left on the bottom. It looks more like sugar left down the bottom of that. Now it's all gone. I got no response from. Oh, I had 1 cup of water and about. I'm actually kind of surprised that did not dissolve. You might try stirring a little bit more and see if that makes it dissolve. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, do you want to know something?
I always want to know something.
Have you heard of this weird substance called oobleck?
I sure have. Cornstarch and water.
Yep. The one that acts like a solid if you come down hard on it.
Yep.
Goes slow and it's water.
And Addison right now is going to show us cornstarch and water. What I'm going to do before she shows us this, though, I'm going to show you cornstarch itself. So cornstarch is an extremely fine powder. It feels slippery when you touch it. It's used quite a bit in baking. If you're baking cakes, pancakes, stuff like that, you use it. So now Addison is going to show us what happens when we mix cornstarch and water. Ready when you are, young lady.
I don't think it matters what order you put them in.
So do you want me just to do water and then the cornstarch?
Yeah, put the water in the glass and then put the cornstarch in and stir it up. So describe it to us, Addison.
It is white and it kind of looks like milk. And it dissolves very quickly.
Now, how much did you put in there?
I just kind of put some in. I can put more if I need to.
No, it's okay.
Okay. But I put quite a bit.
Now, what I'm going to do is what Blake is talking about, and I'm making a big mess on my desk. I'm going to unpin you for a second, ma'am. And I'm going to pin myself back up here. I said pin. Oh, helps if I hit the right button. There we go. So in my hand is oobleck. It is a slimy mess.
Yes.
Which, if I leave my hand here, you can just see it oozing down.
It's just gonna act like water.
Yet when I pick it up and squeeze it, I can make it into a ball. If I hit it really hard, it's solid.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like a brick.
It's something that we call, it is a non-Newtonian substance, meaning it acts like both a solid and a liquid. It kind of defies the normal rules of physics.
Isn't it edible if you think? Can it be edible if you think about it?
It is edible.
Really
Also, you can
Hold on
just
one
put some
second.
flavoring on it. Just put flavoring on it. Nom nom nom. So basically, if you just want to dispose of it, just eat it.
Sorry, I need to go wash my hands real quick. It is completely edible. Like I said earlier, all these substances that we're testing today are edible. They're all consumable.
You want to get rid of it, you eat it.
You don't want to necessarily eat Epsom salts because that will.
We talked about the oobleck.
Right, but I'm just saying, talking about everything in general. Cornstarch is very much used in all kinds of baking. Like I said, breads, cakes, pancakes, muffins, cupcakes. You know, it's made in all kinds of different things like that. Or used in all kinds of different
Cookies?
things. Yeah, you can use it in cookies.
Okay.
All right.
Because I feel like I'm about to break some cookies.
When I strained the oobleck together, it was kind of hard because the spoon kept sticking to the bottom.
Well, oobleck's going to take your stuff from you if you don't get it out soon enough.
Yeah, see, I have this sitting, I have this just sitting here. When it sits there,
its full potential, you have to take stuff out before it gets stuck.
the very top of this is water, but if I let it set for a second, I can feel the oobleck down on the bottom. It hardens down on the bottom, but then I can stir it, and the whole thing is very soft. It's all water. And then I let it set for a couple seconds, and the spoon kind of gets stuck down on the bottom. That's just the way oobleck is. Okay, so we have done cornstarch. We have done citric acid. We have done lemonade. And we have done Epsom salts.
What about, hold on. Cauliflower.
Cauliflower is not one of our ingredients we use in our bath bombs. So I'm going to go ahead and do baking soda. And then let's see, Catherine, do you have olive oil?
I think so.
All right. And does anybody, let's see, I mean, I know Addison does, but I'm trying to give anybody else does anybody else have coconut oil that would want to demonstrate it? No? Okay. Addison, do you want to go ahead and do coconut oil?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll do baking soda now. Then Catherine, you'll do olive oil, and then Addison, you'll do coconut oil. Okay, so once again, baking soda is a powder. It's a white powder. It's very, very fine, not quite as fine as cornstarch. You can call it soft. Very fine powder, very white. When I dump it into my water, kind of does the same thing everything else is doing. It turns the water cloudy. Just water and olive oil, Catherine. It dissolved all the way. I stir it and let it set for a couple seconds, and the baking soda comes out of solution. It'll just come right back onto the bottom of the jar. So it's not truly dissolving. It just kind of mixes up and then settles back down. Noah, you're leaving class? Okay. About the same amount of water, Addison, and about a teaspoon of coconut oil. Yes, River, I realize that, but you just don't leave in the middle of class. That's how you don't get credit for a class. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Catherine. Let me see, unpin myself. Come down to Catherine. Catherine, we are ready when you are. So, Catherine, try mixing it up. Try stirring it, see what happens. Okay, stop stirring and let the camera see what's happening real quick. So it doesn't really look like it's mixing, does it? The oil just comes right back to the top. Yeah, water and oil do not mix. Now, I have a beaker right here of olive oil. I believe it's actually the same olive oil that Catherine had. Was that Bertolli's? Was that the name of it? No? Oh. I say that. Ah, okay. See, look like the same container. Just mine's Bertolli's and hers is Great Mart. You know what I mean? I have a feeling they're actually the same olive oil with just different labels on them. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, so yeah, on this one, the oil went right to the top of the water, which is a fairly common thing. Olive oil comes from squeezing olives. You get the olive oil comes out of the olives. Used in a lot of Italian food. Olive oil is really big in Italian cooking. All right, coming to our last one. I'm going to unpin you, Catherine. And we have Addison up on the screen. And she is going to take good old coconut oil, which is not very friendly. So olive oil is very creamy, or it's a hard white substance. She is going to try to mix it, and it just does not want to cooperate at all. Now, so Addison, would you say that the coconut oil dissolved at all?
No, it all just kind of stayed together, and when I tried stirring it, it just didn't do anything.
Okay, I'm going to show you two different things here. So thank you very much, Catherine and Addison, for your help today. It has been much appreciated. So I am going to pin myself back up onto the screen, and I want to show you two different things. So the first one is I take the olive oil, and I'm not going to take that much. I'm going to just take a teeny little bit of it. And I mean, it's hard. You know, it doesn't do very much of anything. it's in my hand, as you can see. I'm going to put it in my hand for just a couple seconds. And I've just completely melted it. Just by the temperature of my hand. All right. Now the other thing I'm going to do is Addison put her coconut oil and it just kind of clumped together. I have some coconut oil here. I have my water. Just a few more seconds. My coconut oil has come off the spoon. And it is gone. Well, I say it's gone. There's a little teeny tiny piece in there. Why, answering in chat, did my coconut oil disappear when Addison's did not? Anybody want to take a guess at that one? Nope. It's coconut oil. One ingredient. Only one ingredient. Coconut. Good guess though, Amaya, excuse me. Warmer water. Because remember, I put it in my hand and I put my hands together, and when I did this, I mean, you obviously you don't know what kind of room I'm in. I mean, you don't know what the temperature is in here. But are my hands most likely warmer than the room I'm in? My room is about 65 degrees. My hands are around 90 degrees. You know, human body is around 98 degrees, right? Coconut oil liquefies, melts at about 75 degrees. When she put the coconut oil in water, she put it in room temperature water, which is typically anywhere between 55 to 60 degrees. That's below the melting point of coconut oil. I went over to a sink behind me and I turned on hot water and I let it run for a couple seconds so it got nice and hot, and I put it into about 90 degree water and it melted right off the bat. So that's something that's called a melting point. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you wrote down a description of everything that we just observed. If not, I strongly recommend you come back and look at these videos and write down the observations of each one of the ingredients. So for those of you that do have the ingredients, keep hold of them. When we come back on Thursday, what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to see what happens when, actually no, I take that back. That is either going to be Friday or next Tuesday. We're going to start mixing different ingredients together. We're going to see what happens when I mix coconut oil and citric acid and baking soda and cornstarch. We're going to start mixing all these different items together to see what kind of results we get. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are class up for the day. Does anybody have any questions for me? All right. Addison, Catherine, I know you two had your ingredients. If anybody else gets any more, make sure when we come back, Addison, you were in your kitchen, right? Or were you in a kitchen? Okay. Krista, Catherine, were you in the kitchen? Okay. Yeah, because some of this stuff, if it spills over, I want to make sure you're in a spot where it's okay. Maybe even getting a cookie sheet, something that has little lips on it, that we can do it in. That way, if it spills, it doesn't go all over the floor or anything to make a big mess. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, please make sure you have those observations written down. They are going to come back and be needed later. And with that, wait, hold on. I think somebody had a comment. Oh, bye. Okay. Yep. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in 2 days. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
But thank you, Addison. I appreciate your help today. Catherine, appreciate your help too.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Appreciate it. Bye, everyone.